This weekend was a real snooze until I read some up-to-date reporting in Teen Rogue about the conditions on Prison Island. Turns out one of those conditions was Sonic was there, because I guess there's this almost as handsome, maybe a little bit trendier hedgehog running around doing bad stuff. Anyway, everyone thinks it's Sonic, which is ridiculous and definitely not a mistake that I would ever make. So Tails and I had to go break him out of prison. Tails was a total pro and stopped the nuclear missile that he launched before it hit Station Square, and that gave me enough time to break everybody out of prison. Except for Sonic, because Sonic has many virtues, but patience isn't one of them. No, Sonic spent all that time fighting Trendy Hedgehog. And look, Sonic doesn't lose or run away, but he did end up drowning and needed me to rescue him, so I don't think he won, and I think he's a little bit sore about it. When we all met back up at Tails' place, he only ate 15 chili dogs instead of his usual 30. Then we saw a special broadcast on Tails' cool satellite TV where Dr. Eggman blew up the moon and threatened to do the same thing to Earth if we didn't, make him supreme leader or something. That's definitely not happening. Luckily, Tails was able to track the signal, but maybe not so luckily, we can't take the tornado up to where he is because we want to protect the Chaos Emerald that powers the tornado. Or just take it with us and hide it. That seems to be the plan as of right now. Either way, we're gonna have to find another space shuttle so we can get to Space Colony Arc and stop Eggman. So guys, here's what I think we should do. And Amy will, reach from behind her back and in a cartoonish fashion pull out a rolled up magazine, unfurl it very stylishly, and it says Teen Rogue Special News Edition. And she'll flip to the page and go, there's a museum at this pyramid that has a working space shuttle. That's what the exhibit's about, but they're really into how much this space shuttle works. So I think we should just go take a tour, split off and steal it.
And you take a look at this article, and this article is talking about the legacy journey to the jump off point to Babylon Garden. See the land organization of the Babylon Rogues, a previously air only species. And it just talks about this history of this revolutionary band of thieves that rode in the sky, but used this port to get back up there when they had to go steal from the ground. Although you do see a couple of weird things in it. You see a lot of E period G period G period M period A period N period branding next to this museum. And you'll see these little pop-ups, these quotes, and you keep describing this small red orbish robot describing things, and they're always oh, and he spoke in such a foppish British accent, and then you this coarse, rougher accent of this yellow cube-based robot would start following up and interrupting, and this is all to say. You realize, yes, this is a museum. Yes, this has a working space shuttle. Yes, it's related to this thing called the Babylon Rogues. That sounds neat. But this is definitely Eggman's museum. And he probably won't be happy if you show up. Which, by the way, this is my justification for how Eggman makes money. He just steals museums.
Museums, theme parks, any kind of public joy.
Sounds like Egghead to me. He's constantly stealing museums, making museums, stealing theme parks, making theme parks, flooding them with water. Same old Egghead, really.
Yeah. Speaking of that, and then she flips to the next page where there's a side silhouette of Sonic with a no symbol over it. She goes, "You're explicitly not allowed there, so
they got my good side."
Well, hold on a second. And Tails looks. Are Tailses allowed?
The Tailses are reluctantly allowed.
Okay.
I've decided Eggman reluctantly respects Tails.
Yeah.
And he thinks
So-
Amy's all right.
If
Amy does what she wants. It's fine.
if you're allowed in and I'm allowed in, then all we have to do is disguise Sonic, right?
Why can't I just run in?
Well, there's probably you'll be detected as probably the way that he's I have to reluctantly admit that he's not the least smart person that we know. So his sonic detections are probably blue blur based.
So you're saying he's not dumb?
not yeah.
always.
not
in like a technical sense.
not in a technological sense.
Yeah, not in that sense.
So maybe instead we should dress you up like the emo one that looks pretty much like you.
Who?
Yeah. You know, the one who's working with Eggman?
Yeah.
Metal?
I think that would be
No,
No,
not metal. That would actually be really difficult. You don't move at all like metal.
Mecha.
No.
Silver Sonic.
Yeah, there are a lot of emo robots that work with. Yeah, I'm not talking about a robot. I'm talking about the new
Knack.
hedgehog that showed up.
Sonic.
Breezy.
Do you
Yeah,
remember?
Breezy's a girl, and
Oh, no, I get it. I got it. Scourge.
Well, I haven't seen Scourge in a while. No, I'm talking about the new guy that you were fighting the other day with
Mhm.
black hair with red highlights.
The one who was on the TV just now?
Does he have a name?
Ryu?
What's his name? What's the new guy's name? Amy?
Gosh, has he said it? I've been calling him.
Yeah, has he
Trendy
said it? I think you're the only one who would know this person's name. And I think you know who we're talking about, and you're just being deliberately obtuse.
I'll have you know that I'm never deliberately obtuse. I'm actually worried more about the moon, Tails. Should we be worried about the moon?
Please don't remind me of you. Okay, you are.
Tails, do we need the moon?
Okay.
Look, I can breathe in space. I can even run in space, but can everyone do that? Is that going to be a problem? Are there going to be
No,
moons
Sonic.
falling down?
Sonic.
No one else can do that. That's why it's really important to get a space shuttle so that we don't die in space, so that we can stop the other bad space stuff from happening.
And I'm also working on a debris collection matrix, so we don't have to deal with too much space junk. And also, the moon will mostly fix itself and turn into a second moon, so in time we'll have two moons.
It's not
And
so
yes, our tides are going to change, Sonic, and we'll just have to deal with that unless we lobby to adjust for it. That's what's going to happen, okay? That's just what's going to happen. But
Shadow! His name is Shadow.
bad.
What was that you said? Something about the tides and water?
yeah, okay.
I hate water.
I think we should dress you up like Shadow.
Ugh, but I'm so handsome. How are we going to make me less handsome?
Well, it'll be hard, but we can manage. I'm
You're
sure.
not going to put streaks in my hair, are you?
We're
Oh,
gonna,
we're gonna put streaks in your hair.
and we're gonna give you nice eyeshadow.
Will it wash out?
Yes, eyeshadow washes out.
Yeah,
Good.
eyeshadow
I never
washes
take
out.
baths. Oh no, wait, I played myself. Do I have to wear rollerblades?
You could just walk
get-
everywhere.
Yeah, you get to wear rollerblades. I don't get what the.
They're silly.
He has like a really nice look. What's your problem?
He looks silly.
How does he look silly?
He wears rollerblades everywhere.
Well, Sonic, have you ever tried to rollerblade?
Probably. I play a lot of sports. I've been kart racing. I've played basketball. I've played soccer. Yeah, I think I've rollerbladed.
Amy looks skeptical at this and then says, I don't think you know how. Maybe that's why he doesn't want to rollerblade, Tails. Maybe he just doesn't know how.
Yeah, you hold on. You know a lot of extreme sports, though.
Okay. Rollerblading is a lot like ice skating. Okay? And ice skating is over water.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but it's also an Olympic sport. that's
I don't-
on Wii consoles.
I don't think I've been to the Olympics yet.
Not yet. Okay. That's fair.
Okay, so we're not worried about the moon, and you said something about the Matrix, which was great. I saw that movie. And then we're going to run to the museum and take a rocket from the museum, and then something about dyeing my hair.
You're
I
getting
think I'm-
all of the order mixed up.
Oh,
1st
you're-
off, we dye your hair.
No, I'm caught up though. I'm
Okay.
good.
Okay, good.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I have hair dye. She just has hair dye, like with her. It's ready to go.
Yeah, absolutely.
She's
Do
got
you
like
have
the
it?
spray can.
Yeah,
you can
yeah.
get at
Now,
Walgreens.
question: Are you gonna go with the red?
Well, we're trying to dress him up as Shadow, right? So yeah.
Okay, that's fair. Also, if I disappear for periods of time, it looks like frames have been dropping. I don't know if
Yeah, I
it's my
saw
internet
that.
or not. So,
Oh.
feel free to have this makeover montage go as long as you want while I while I fidget with
makeover.
Makeover.
Yeah. In fact, Amy, if I can speak for your character for a second to help
Go
make
for
this work a little bit more in character without the GM, I'm going to say that Amy sets up a camera and is like, now it's time for the YouTube, the TikTok, whatever you want,
Instagram.
makeup tutorial time.
Yeah.
Is the point, is the moral of the story. So that camera's just up and it's playing, and imagine I'm that camera staring at you.
So today we're going to try to do an impossible task. Make Sonic less handsome, but trendier. To do that, I have some hair dye and some more hair dye. We're just going to put like a lot of hair dye on Sonic right now. It'll be a really nice time to update his look, don't you think, Tails?
Yes.
So what you're going to do is shake it as hard as you can.
Oh. Is that how hair dye works? Okay.
Uh-huh. The semi-permanent spray kind. All right, Sonic, turn around. All right, lean down. I gotta get your hair upside down. Then she just suck it up. You can breathe. It's fine. All right, now up. And then she's gonna turn Sonic's face towards the camera and go, as you can see, it's not evenly dispersed yet. So what you do is run your fingers through and just really get it in there. And she's scrubbing into his spikes. Okay, and now, instead of the red, we have a dark one because Sonic is mostly blue. But we want him to be like a little bit darker than blue for the look that we're going for, which is trendy.
Question, shouldn't we use bleach?
Bleach.
Yeah, shouldn't we just bleach the blue quills and then...
Tails behind Amy, you see Sonic going like this and making his no way gesture.
Yeah, so you just bleach the blue out of the quills and then you'd re-dye over with red. Sure
that's no good. It's not dye. My quills are blue.
Right, but that's how like people who have dark like fur and everything would get that's how they would dye. I'm sure that's how the person whose look we are trying to steal.
Hot topic.
Yeah, sure, we can call this person Hot Topic. Does their quills.
Okay.
So they would bleach the black out and then dye the red.
Good thinking, Tails. You got any bleach?
Yeah.
Heroes never say die. And Sonic turns around.
Anyways, so Sonic has been turned into Shadow. Now I only have I have a very important question. Very, very important question. What did you do? So, you know, you bleached it. I want to know how Sonic looks. You know what? What am I doing? I'm taking away the full description. So let me set the scene. we see ourselves on the indoor. It's a big, there's a big welcome sign. There's a big banner. It says, "Welcome to the Eggman Empire," and the Eggman Empire is just scratched out with pen, and it says the Babylon Garden exhibit. You see a whole lot of things on the walls. There's images on the walls, scrolls retelling the tale of the Babylon Guardians, which looks exactly like it does in the cutscenes for Sonic Riders. You see this robot is walking a crowd. So again, this very foppish red robot is just walking around going things like, "According to legend, the Babylon Rogues were a band of technologically advanced thieves known as the Babylonians." So so he's walking around and giving a presentation. In the center behind the banister, you see how in like in Jurassic Park, how there's that big banister and there's the T-Rex that goes in and like screams at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
It's like that, but you just see this giant stone golem that kind of has a pharaoh-like face, and there's this weird robotic thing on its head, like this weird like nodule on it. The only thing I think of for reference is the thing they put on R2 in Star Wars to like hold him in place.
A restraining bolt.
Yeah, like a restraining bolt. So it's just a big one on the top of its head, and there are some things going off to the side. And walking
And
in,
it says, "When golems ruled the earth."
yes, absolutely. When golems ruled the earth. So we see Amy Rose walk in. I'm assuming you're dressed nice, Amy. You're dressed to go out.
Amy's always dressed to go out.
She
looks 10 out of 10, 100% of the time.
We see Tails walk in. Tails, are you in your mech, or is it outside, or what's going on with your mech?
So I have my goggles on my head. I'm wearing a little bow tie.
Aw.
And then I have in my hands a remote control, and behind me, my mech is walking in with a little bow tie.
Oh,
I love it. I was
cute.
really hoping you were gonna go the like 3 kids in a trench coat approach with this, and I'm so glad that you did.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so it's in a bow tie, and then finally, for the first time in his life, moving slowly, we see Sonic walk in, and I need a description of how Sonic looks and what he looks like emotionally, but also what's the getup? How's he trying to look edgy? What's the roller skate situation?
You need to know that we got your eye makeup on point.
I'm glad you asked.
Totally on point.
I'm not actually coming in through the door. I'm actually jumping in through the window. So I'm gonna wait for a lightning crash, and then I will jump in through the window. Whether it's open or not, I'll just spin dash through, and then I'm gonna grind soap shoes TM style down the giant banisters. And as I'm grinding, I'm in this pose, and my head is down so you can't see my eyes and face and makeup. And then I hit the ground in a hero punch with like one fist down, and then I get up and brush my shoulders off and say, "I'm Shadow, the ultimate life form, and the world's slowest hedgehog." And then I slowly and dramatically join my friends,
Like
and
a
I say,
slow-mo?
yes, I like walking in slow motion. I say, "Hello, citizens. Bask in my glory, for I, as I've mentioned before, am Shadow, the ultimate life form, a claim which I have made with absolutely no evidence. Also, know that I am the coolest." And then I take up next to Amy. I immediately fold up my shoulders, go like this, and then clamp my mouth shut. I also blink my big eyes so you can see the mascara that's been put on there. I ruffle back my hair in a way that I think people who are trying to look cool would do. And then I take up my post up against, like, near Amy, but in a corner, like kids who are trying to be cool would.
Okay, I need you to roll a cool for that. It will be a hard check for
But
reasons.
Kyle, my cool as Shadow is so low. How can I do that? Am I rolling for Shadow or Sonic here?
You're rolling for Sonic.
Okay.
I'm not going to be so mean as to say Sonic is actively cooler being Shadow than being himself.
What's the difficulty?
Difficulty hard, so that's going to be 3.
I mean, honestly, this version of Shadow is better than Sonic or the real Shadow. So
I'm only rolling this
got a
because
point.
you have a very hard crowd to impress.
can I get a boost die for coming in through the window and grinding on the rail?
Absolutely. Yeah, you get a boost die for grinding through.
That is a success and 2 advantages.
Okay, so you'll let me know how you do the advantages, but
Rings.
oh yeah, rings. Okay, so you get rings from that. But because I've been alluding to them but not saying them by name, just from the distance, you just hear Cubot say, "Oh, real cool, Shadow." And then Orbot, who's been presenting things, is like, "Yes, I have to admit that was cool." And then he goes back to presenting anything. You were going to succeed with Cubot regardless, but you were rolling for Orbot.
Got it. Shadow turns towards the robots and says, "Looks like the good doctors brought in some more help. Scratch and Grounder?"
Hey, that's not cool to reference our old... that's not cool to reference our uncles. Yes, if I could forget about them for the rest of my lives, I happily would.
That's my response.
Good, because that's Orbot's response too. You see like both of you cross your arms and then turn your head opposite ways, and he continues presenting while Cubot, like, I don't know, he goes back to clean the golem, but he doesn't know how, so he just pulls like a freaking, I don't know, chainsaw and just starts grinding against it, trying to file its nails or something.
And I've got 4 rings, right?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna like take them out of my gloves and start tossing them up and down, saying, "The power! The power!"
What did we do? Did you know he was gonna do this? This is just what happens when people wear makeup.
No, it's not what happens. People wear makeup. It's just what happens when Sonic decides he wants to do something.
I am a god!
This is just the plot to Mean Girls now, and I'm okay with it.
Oops. All right. Amy's gonna turn to Sonic and go, "All right, Shadow, you ready? You ready to go in? You ready to keep going? Shadow? Hey, ultimate life form.
Yes, I am Shadow!
Yeah. Are you ready to keep going?
Lead the way, girl hedgehog."
Okay. Tails, come on.
Yeah, fine. Tails looks like pretty concerned. Takes the arm of his parental figure, the tornado, starts heading in.
Yeah. Your dad, the tornado.
Uh-huh.
Just the thick thumping as you walk into. Yeah, so you want to get to the rocket, obviously.
Want to get to the rocket? Yeah, that's where we're going.
Yeah,
No
let's
detours.
try to figure out what exhibit are you going to?
The rocket one.
Well, the rocket one's all the way in the back. You got to go through at least one exhibit to get to the rocket exhibit. It's on like the second. So you actually see it. So there's the giant golem, right? It's actually got a pool of like quicksand right beneath it.
Okay.
Because they always say things like, don't touch the dinosaur bones. And everyone's like, I'm going to touch those dinosaur bones. So they're like, what if we put quicksand there?
Would that deter anyone?
What if we
Has
did
it
that?
deterred anyone?
Well, considering... just give me a quick second. I'm not going to do the roller. I'm just going to roll flat D20 for our boy Eggman and see...
Wait, so what exhibit is this?
This is the egg golem. So in the center... there's a giant,
Oh, and they don't want anyone to touch the egg golem. There aren't
yeah, so there's quicksand around it, and that was a 7, so lots of people have tried to get in there,
Right.
and the quicksand has definitely not worked. You see a bunch of kids just running around it, like running on the quicksand back and forth playing by the exhibit. But you see up on like the third floor behind it, because it's a pretty tall golem, there's a walkway behind it, and then you can see a door there that leads to the shuttle exhibit. So it's up there on the third floor, so you either have to walk through the museum to get to it, or, jump.
This is far from the most ultimate golem Shadow has seen.
The person? That's where we are now?
What?
The third person? Shadow? Really? That's
Shadow
fine.
doesn't have to respond to that.
Okay. It's just, does Shadow think that that's how Shadow speaks?
Shadow learned this was a great way of remembering Shadow's name.
Oh, okay.
That's useful then.
Oh, all right.
Instead of jumping up, we could probably jump all the way up there, but we're not going to draw that much attention to ourselves. Shadow over here has already done that. So Amy's just going to start heading through, and she's going to check back to make sure her party is following her.
Wait, Girl Hedgehog! Not too fast. Shadow must keep up. And then he slowly makes his way up the stairs.
Amy slows down because she doesn't want to lose track of him or of Tails, as she's trying to drag them through this museum as fast as she can, but as slow as will make Sonic happy to be dunking on Shadow while he does it.
And as you walk into the exhibit, and I'm going to say you go into the racing exhibit, they call it the Free Rider exhibit.
Yeah.
As you go there, I'm actually going to spend a Shadow point. So you have 4 Sonic points right now.
Is that good for me? Or
It's good for a version of you. We see Sonic walking, and the camera like pans back, and we see that we're looking through like a CCTV lens. And this lens is appearing on top of a monitor on this Space Colony Arc. And you see actual Shadow crossing his arms, glaring at you, imitating him.
Wait, are you sure that's not good for me?
As he just absent-mindedly flips a Chaos Emerald, and he goes, Shadow never talks to himself in the third person like that. I suppose the good doctor will want to learn about this. And he walks away to someplace else on the Space Colony Arc.
The good doctor. Who are you trying to impress? Real Shadow. Come on.
So Shadow is walking through this Free Riders exhibit, looking left, looking right. He's got a contemptuous smirk on his face, as he always does. And he says, "Vehicles? Shadow has no need for Wait. Shadow needs vehicles. Shadow is very slow." And then he climbs into one of the cars, and then makes noises.
I'm gonna drag him out by the ear. Amy's getting close.
Ouch, Girl Hedgehog! Ouch!
Amy, I want you to roll me a stealth, and I want you to. It's gonna be hard. Yeah, it's gonna be hard.
Hands off the ultimate life form.
All right, stealth is agility. I have 2 agility, so that is 2 greens.
Yep, versus 3 purple.
Versus 3 purple. Okay.
You know what? I'm gonna give you a black dice as well for
Because
Shadow.
I'm fighting you. Yeah, because
Okay.
I'm fighting you.
2 green, 3 purple, 1 black.
Mm-hmm.
Good luck.
I got 1 failure and 3 threats.
Oh no!
Oh, you pulled the ring. You definitely pulled the rings out of me. The rings I collected.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that is the threats. The rings go out, and this was one of the Free Rider machines that. So if you ever played Sonic Free Riders, the way it works is as you get more rings, you can get you go faster and you get more boosts, which I interpret as their flying machines suck up rings. So 6 rings just fly out, suck into the front of this thing, and just stay there, and there's no getting them out without just snapping the board over your legs.
That's your fault.
No! Shadow needs those rings if he's going to take on his superior foe, Sonic!
Well, Shadow should have thought of that before touching the exhibit.
Shadow could not help himself.
Tails is like Tails is looking at this very interesting alien exhibit across the way, and like Tails believes in Amy's ability to be a functioning member of society, and like way more than himself and Sonic, right? So has been trusting that she's gonna get them through this. So he's just like trying to get through, and is just glaring over at this display, and then Shoulder Tails pops up and is like, hey, do you remember what the mission is at all? Do you remember, hey, Sonic, do you remember what the mission is at all? And like is staring directly at Sonic, and then Real Tails is staring across the museum.
Is Shoulder Tails popping up on my shoulder?
Yeah, on your
Okay.
on your shoulder.
So Shadow turns to his left and looks at Shoulder Tails, and Shoulder Tails instantly turns into a goth parody of Tails.
Okay, and
and-
then
and
a
Shadow
shoulder,
says-
yeah.
Shadow says, that's better. That's edgier.
Like Shoulder Tails looks down at himself. and he's
Shadow
got, like,
Shadow slaps himself in the face, and then looks to his left, and it's just normal Tails.
Yeah.
And Mental Sonic is talking to Shoulder Tails. He says, "Whoa, sorry about that, buddy."
Should I get an eyebrow piercing?
No,
It looked cool though.
Tails, you use magnets all the time to collect rings.
You're right. Very impractical.
So what's
Okay.
going on? Where are we? What's this black nebulous space I'm floating in?
Right. So this is your subconscious, and I'm your Jiminy Cricket conscience, right? And
Wait. You're the subconscious.
just come out of this space and talk to Amy and do a good job.
Okay. And then he spin dashes. The Phantom Sonic spin dashes off into the distance. And the camera goes through Sonic's eyes, and we see Amy again. And she's like looking at me furious. And Mental Sonic says to himself, "Well, that's a familiar sight. What I do now?" And then you see Sonic blink a couple of times, and then he looks at Amy, and under his breath says, "Sorry about that, Ames. I'll get my head in the game now."
Amy is genuinely surprised to be hearing an apology. Like, she expected to have to fight him just a little bit more. So she looks at him skeptically at first, and then lets go of his ear, and goes, and then like jabs him in the chest, and
Ugh.
says, "See that you do." And then she turns around and huffs away.
Easy, I'm out of rings.
And we never had the failure come into play.
We don't have
let's-
to, it's
let's
okay.
Let's talk about that. So suddenly, you just feel like a sympathetic pat on your leg, like someone trying to pat your arm sympathetically, but they're too short even for Sonic.
Who's you?
You Sonic, sorry.
Okay.
And you just turn over and you just see this small yellow robot goes like, "Oh, Shadow, I know all about that kind of stuff. Why'd you do this time? We told you not to ride the exhibits."
I, Shadow, got into one of the exhibits.
You got into one of the exhibits again. We told you not to do that after the motorcycle.
I was making the cart go broom.
Yeah, I get that, but Orbot gets real mad at me if I do that. Wait a second! And this is where the failure comes in. Wait a second! Was that Amy Rose? I'm such a big fan of her Instagram makeup tutorials. I need to go get an autograph.
I don't know who Girl Hedgehog is.
Let me find
I am Shadow.
Let me find some paper. And Cubot is gonna run off trying to get some paper to get Amy's autograph.
Okay, Sonic, you're alone in a museum, and that's boring. And Tails is over there with his parental figure, the tornado. Amy's off getting an autograph, and you're dangerously bored. What do you do? Kyle, I'll let you use the threat now if you want.
Oh, the threat was that he's gonna go talk to Amy, and plus,
Yeah.
you just gave a monologue that is in and of itself a threat. So let's do this. Let's say, Amy, Cubot's gonna come up and get your autograph, and listen, he's a sweet guy, you know. So I'm assuming like you'll at least
Amy-
humor him.
Well, she's in a bad mood, so she'll at first be like, "What do you want?" And then he'll be like, "Oh, I'm a big fan," and she'll
Except
get,
he says "botograph."
she'll
Aww.
get like the anime eyes where they're really glowy and they have the little like shines and their hearts behind her, and she's like, "Oh, you're a fan of my Instagram channel?" He's stoked her ego. That's an easy way to please Amy, so she'll sign that for him.
All right, so you've got a fan. Tails, I'm gonna say, so the Babylonians were masters of racing and thievery and Castle in the Sky ripoffs. And so by reading their exhibit, you're gonna just be able to pull out a piece of knowledge out of nowhere and use it at one point in the future. So you can just be like, basically to help with a roll or to make it so one of your green dice becomes I want to say it's yellow? Not yellow.
Yeah, yellow.
Yellow.
So it's like a Sonic point.
Yeah, so basically you get a free Sonic point that
If
doesn't
we
count.
grab these boogie boards, we can fly.
But our threat,
All that reading you did.
Distilled it. That's a skill, you know, just distilling something you read into one useful sentence.
is going to be that Sonic is alone in a museum and he's bored. And it's going to be at least 2 minutes till someone finds him.
I wonder how many things I can touch before the alarms go off.
Are you going to try to touch as many things as you can?
Yeah.
All right, give me agility.
I am going to. I'll use my real speed on this.
Okay, give me agility. I know I'm throwing out a lot of hards, so you know what?
I don't care.
Let's do a change of place. Let's make it extra hard for purple.
Oh, okay. So this will be this will be let's say coordination. Does that work?
Coordination, yeah, it's your best one. Like the high.
And so this is 4 purples.
Yep, 4 purples.
Got it. 3 successes, 2 advantages.
Okay. So Sonic touches everything, and we see the like cameras shift back and forth a little bit as if trying to notice him, but he's not the blue blur right now. So, and Eggman had only
Calibrated the cameras.
Calibrate for the blue blur, because again, Shadow's kind of like a spoiled child where he gets everything Eggman wants, except Eggman is really the child and Shadow's a teenager.
Well, so the way I think of it is these cameras are they're actually monochrome CCTV cameras. So because I'm black, I just look like a shadow moving around, literally.
Okay, I like that.
I would also like to cut thousands of years in the future, if that's okay. Where we see Silver the Hedgehog going through some archaeological transcripts, and he reads them, and it says Sonic the Hedgehog's fingerprints were found dating back thousands of years to the Babylonian civilization, the ancient Echidna civilization. So based on these records, we can conclude that Sonic the Hedgehog was probably an immortal time traveler and also likely a villain because he visited all of these civilizations that had their downfall. And so Silver's eyes lined up and he says, "I knew it! I've got to stop him." And then he rushes off.
Okay. All right. Setting up for Sonic 06. I love it. Meet us in 2026 for the Sonic 06 roleplay. Okay. Yeah, and then we just get back and Sonic is as satisfied as Sonic can be.
Yeah.
You've touched everything you can. You managed to snag a few rings along the way.
Oh yeah. 4 rings.
Where he got those, we don't know, but there's not really a good answer to that because either...
Oh, I just took them out of the Babylon Rogues.
He just crawled under there and got the 4 that Amy knocked out of
That's the thing. Sonic he gets in places. He tunnels. He's a tunneler. He'll do that.
He's a wily one.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right, so you all meet up, and yeah, I guess do we want to make our way to the exhibit?
That's the goal. That's the dream.
That's the
And
goal.
both of you notice Sonic looking pleased with himself and also less bored than usual, which is concerning.
Yeah.
It is, yeah. Amy
Yeah.
will again narrow her eyes a little bit skeptically because now they're all together again. She doesn't want to lose track of either of them, but especially of Shadow here.
All right, so you make your way up, and you see the you're on the 3rd floor. You can see on one side the egg golem. Again, it was really just a golem, but Eggman had to put his branding on it.
Egg.
And then on the other side, you see a platform out, and there are a handful of space shuttles on the other side as well. And there's a whole bunch of exhibits for how they work and how they function. And so the trick now is trying to figure out, how do you get one of them to work? Are they full of fuel? Like, what's the plan of attack? This is, you don't go to the Smithsonian to fly a plane.
Right.
So what's your plans here? What's your plan here, Amy?
Well, the Teen Rogue article was very explicit. It said "working space shuttle" in all caps, in bold, in red font. There's no way she misread what it said.
Okay, that's fine. You got me. So you're in the middle of this giant pyramid because Eggman has no respect for anything.
No.
The top of the pyramid is just a giant skylight. So it's just been replaced with glass. It looks like the top of a rich person's house. You're walking through.
Somewhere Knuckles is horrified.
Oh, just you wait. Like, you see a bunch of things down there. You see, the fearsome horror of King Boom Boo. And you actually, for a brief second, you almost like hear a ugh, and like you hear a punch, and you could swear you see a little bit of red just walk into that exhibit. But you make your way on. You see the space shuttle. You're walking down. And Sonic, are you going? So where is Sonic in our march? I know it's weird to ask in this roleplay to ask like the classic, what is your marching order? But what is your marching order?
What is the party? order?
Shadow is definitely at the back.
Okay.
Because he's slow. The joke is that he's slow.
Amy's at the front because she's taking charge.
Yeah.
So,
That's
And
right.
Tails and his dad are in the middle.
Yep.
so to your horror, Amy and Tails, you hear a voice behind you that is normally so threatening, but is surprisingly jovial. And you hear, "Aho! Shadow, you told me that Sonic was down here interrogate up to crimes. Have you seen him?"
I dramatically slowly turn around and it's a, "Hello, Dr. Robotnik. It's great to see you again. I am your friend, Shadow." And then I do a flourish of my glove like this. And then I say, "See?" And then I turn to the side and say,
I would have you roll, but you automatically
pitch perfect-
succeed.
yeah, it's a pitch perfect
no, like
impression.
it's yeah, exactly. It's like, "Oh, delightful!" And he just like claps to himself.
So I want to say the reason this succeeds is because I said I was his friend, and Eggman so wants that, he wants to believe that that's true
Yeah.
so badly. He can overlook all of the other things about my performance.
Yeah, he actually pulls out a planner and he says, "So does that mean I can put you down for the Chuck E. Cheese Friendship Extravaganza next weekend?"
Yes! Shadow loves animatronics.
And he marks it down. "I'm going to be, it'll be a real good, the people there are going to have a lot of fun." And he marks it down and he puts it in his planner. Says, "Anyways, what's the plan for attack, my friend? The coolest hedgehog around, who is again my friend?"
I'm glad you asked, Dr. Eggman. Egg. And his, like, we zoom in on Sonic's mouth, and he's trying so hard not to say head. He's trying his absolute hardest not to insult the doctor, just as a matter of course. And we see in slow motion, Eggman. I was just following Girl Hedgehog and Small Fox into this exhibit, where we would do dastardly things to them, like crimes.
Oh, Shadow, no, they're perfectly Fine. And we just flash back, if we could, and I might, if I remember to do this in the YouTube edit, do like a dramatic flashback in black and white to the description from session 1, where Amy and Tails in a single hit just clobbered Eggman, and to the point where
oh, he's afraid of them. That's so funny. That's so funny. He's only not afraid of Sonic. That's so funny.
They're fine. They're fine.
Are you sure, Egg?
What? And he turns over. What did you call me?
I was calling you an affectionate nickname, for I am Shadow, as polite can be.
I love it. I love it, Shade. No, wait, we already have a Shade. I'll find a good name for you too. And he walks, and as you're walking, he's just like thinking, he's saying names to himself like Shaddy, Edgehog.
How about Ulti?
Ulti.
Short.
What?
Ulti for short. For the ultimate life form.
Ooh, Ulti, I really like that. Eggman's getting his ass kicked later this episode. We're not going to see that on screen, but I want everyone to know what's happening.
I'm so sad for him. I'm just so sad.
No, Ulti, it's your Eggie.
Sonic is so happy. He's so happy he nearly rips off part of the white cotton fur that you glued. Like, the top of him, he's like, what? And then he sees the little cotton thing, and he runs over to like one of the fountains and hurriedly starts chucking the hair in there.
Anyways, you brought me down here to deal with Sonic. Do you have any idea where he is?
Probably somewhere being cool. I mean, a hero. I mean, off doing something that Sonic would do. Which is being a cool hero.
I'm going to say, I know deep in my heart that Eggman would fall for this, but I do not believe Tails and Amy would. So I'm not going to have this roll, but I'm gonna see how. This is how I'm gonna complicate the situation, because Eggman will believe anything his new friend Shadow tells him.
His new friend.
No, but there's no way that we're gonna stay quiet, right?
Yeah,
like,
and
no,
Tails.
no
And,
way.
Like,
Tails and Amy, you absolutely just heard everything Sonic said.
Yeah, that's
that's a good one, Shadow.
that's so funny, Shadow. That's a good because you don't feel that way.
Not at all.
No.
You've been saying how much you don't like Sonic for a long time.
Oh wait,
Why would Shadow do that? Shadow is
Because-
and then we zoom in on Sonic's skull, and there's like a glass breaking sound. And then we zoom back out, and Sonic's pupils change again, and he says, "You're right. I hate Sonic with his good shoes and his
with his terrible fashion sense
yeah,
and his blue spikes. What's
and
that
never,
about? When
and
red
he
is
never
in-
wears pants.
Yeah, not once has he ever worn pants. Like, that's so weird.
Except for when he wears his favorite outfit, which means he must really love pants
but his
secretly.
favorite outfit isn't very good, and that's possibly worse
Whoa,
than when he
hey,
doesn't wear pants.
whoa.
Did Amy go too far? And try
Amy has gone too far.
Yeah.
Even Tails said that Amy has gone too far. But Sonic is currently like trapped between two brains right now and can't really figure out what he should be doing. So he's blue screening, and you can tell that he like has no idea what to do now because you've confused him with your conflicting instructions at this point.
I would like to try something.
okay.
I would like to trip Shadow so that he is now out of commission and can't speak anymore.
You're just gonna knock Sonic
Yeah,
out?
we'll knock him out. That's what's happening. We'll put him in the rocket, and then we'll take the rocket. And it'll be better when he wakes up.
How are you trying to trip him?
I would use my hammer, but it would be pretty obvious I'm doing it on purpose if I just whipped out my hammer and like used it. So, I'm gonna say, so Amy's got her little purse,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm just gonna like
Let me pull up
Put it-
skills here.
yeah, let me see what skills I can use for this.
Oh, you just feel free to describe. I'll
Like-
I'll figure out what skills
Okay.
it is.
She's just gonna put her purse on the ground, and be like, "Look, Shadow, a chili dog!" and then point in any direction, the direction that she put her purse down, hoping that he just turns and then falls over her large purse filled with many things.
Okay.
Yeah. Sonic says, "Oh, go ahead."
Go. I want to know how Sonic responds before I say what Hallie has to roll.
Sonic chuckles and says, "Ha! Shadow doesn't like chili dog." And then, like, he can't stop himself from turning around. He's already turned around.
That was the plan. That's why I did something Sonic likes.
Okay.
That's why she did that.
So you're trying to trip Sonic.
I'm trying to trip him, yes. Ideally,
I think it's a little easier to trip me when I'm wearing rollerblades.
Oh,
yeah, he's
absolutely.
real, but he's intentionally going slow. That's why the tripping is happening, so like we can just throw him off and be like, "Oh man, we gotta go get ulti medical attention."
Yeah. How Pranks? How difficult would you like this roll to be?
What's Shadow's natural agility? Is it 4?
Shadow's natural agility is 4.
And mine's normally 5. Let's say Shadow. Gosh, but I'm still Shadow, so I'd say 4.
Okay. So
Yeah.
it's going to be 4 purple dice, Hallie, and I'm trying to figure out which one. I'm trying to figure out which of the stats would work best
Yeah,
for you.
she's kind of combining multiple things, you know? There's like a tricky element to it, but there's also like a proficiency element to it.
You could use cunning. I don't
Yeah,
know if
that's what I
Yeah.
was thinking. Let's use we'll do streetwise.
Okay.
Cunning, and I will give you a boost die. So that's going to be 2 green, 1 blue, and then 3 purple. 4 purple. Sorry.
Okay. 2 green, 1 blue, 4 purple.
You
Yeah,
can use a Sonic point if you want.
yeah. You can
I
use
can use a Sonic point.
to make one
That'll-
of those blue, one of those one of those.
One of those greens, a yellow.
Yes, thank you.
Nailed it. I know my colors.
Sonic
Roll-
colors.
Sonic colors. I got 1 failure and 1 threat.
Okay. So it doesn't
Do I
work.
decide what happens since it doesn't
Yeah,
happen?
yeah. Go ahead.
Okay.
Decide
Okay.
how it happens and set up something threatening.
Yeah, so I turn around and we go into like what Sonic's vision looks like, and in like super slow motion we see Amy take out the hammer and then like go towards him, and like Sonic is just confused and he looks at Amy, he looks down into the purse, sees that there's no chili dog, sighs, and then like zooms back into a normal standing position and just slightly moves out of the way, and
Just
Amy
a
falls
little
down. Just a little bit, and Amy falls down. And then he turns towards the doctor and says, "Doctor, are you sure we shouldn't apprehend these two?" Which is a threat.
And Dr. Eggman looks at you, tears in his eyes. Let me get the voice. Oh-ho! And he says, Ulti, you told me you didn't have any other friends, but you were talking so well with those two. Have you been hanging out with Sonic's friends without me?
No, Doctor. Shadow doesn't need to make more friends than Eggman. Eggman is Shadow's best friend, and always will be.
And for the first time, Sonic, I need you to roll
Cool.
to trick Eggman. It is going to be a two purple die roll.
I'm going to try to use cool.
Okay, but I am going to spend a shadow point to upgrade one of the purple to to whatever worse than the purple is, of red.
Okay, but I have clever retort, which means I add 2 threats to another character's social skill check as an incidental. Does that translate to 2 boosts for me?
Oh, yeah. Give yourself
Okay,
some
so you said this was 2 purples?
Yeah.
All right, and I'm rolling
2 purples, and then one of
Cool.
them I was putting to a red, but you can, I don't know if you...
Got it.
Yeah.
And then I am going to be rolling cool. So that's 2 green. And then those are 2 yellows now with my training in cool. And 2 boosts. All right, let's roll it. 1 success.
Okay. I suppose you're right, Shadow. I'm gonna go start looking for Sonic, okay? I'll check over there, and you check Orbot, Cubot, and he just runs off. He's still a little torn up, but
Sonic
You seem
walks
to have
over to
tricked
his
him.
friends, and you see his mascara is like running a little bit as he's sweating, and he says, "I don't feel great about that, guys."
You don't say. Amy is furious, but she can't even quite articulate why, because, like, all things considered, Sonic did better than I think Tails or Amy could reasonably expect based on his prior behavior. She's just upset because it was a very stressful situation. She fell on the ground.
Aww.
This is happening. So she gets up and,
Yeah,
like,
no, Tails helps her up.
thank you, Tails.
Tails seems distracted though. He's like, wait, so but Egghead knew that that Sonic's here. In fact, he said that Shadow told him, which means that Shadow's here.
And it means that Shadow can use technology.
I feel like we knew that part.
Yeah, what's surprising about that?
It means he can use tools and has intelligence.
Those are both things that we knew, Sonic.
Great,
Look,
just
I
add
did-
that to your character work.
I did
Yeah.
a great job.
You did
actually-
passable.
You did pretty good, I feel.
Yeah, you did
I did.
good.
I
Amy,
did
are you
way
okay?
past good. Way past good.
Amy, are you okay?
Yeah, Tails, I'm fine. I'll be fine. Let's get this rocket working before Shadow shows up, like the real one.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
All right, so, these all work. It's been said in my magazine. That plaque over there also says, these rockets work. So I think we just gotta find, like, a button?
all right. And I'm actually going to end on that line. We've just got to find a button.
That's how things work.
We will
That's
take
how things work. That's how Amy wants it to work, so that's how it's gonna work.
So
You hear?
we're going to take a 10-second break.
10
10 second. We're going to take a 10-minute break. We will come back for some Knuckles and Rouge, and then we will and then because
Find a button, and then we'll find a button.
Yeah, then you'll find a button. You did so well that we're actually we're not going to have an Egg Golem fight. We're going to be going to space this time. So
Here we go.
we're going to have a break. We will be back in about 12 minutes or so for some more Sonic Adventure 2 roleplay. We will see you then. So, we are back in the museum. We pass by an exhibit. We see a black blur speed past and touch all of these things on this exhibit that looks very similar to Angel Island, with a large plastic yellow version of the Master Emerald in the center. And as it passes by, we just see a red figure skulk through. We see Eggman landing on the planet in his own personal rocket ship, which has multiple escape pods. This will be important later. And walk off, and we see a red figure skulk past it. And finally, we see a door that says King Boom Boo Exhibit. All the priceless artifacts found here. And we hear the crunch of a door being slammed open. And we watch a red figure skulk in. Rouge, you are in the this area. It's like a big circle with a column in the middle.
Mhm.
So there's a column and a circular walkway around it. You are exploring for things, and you turn around, and at one point you see in the corner of your eye a skulking red figure.
The shadow of a himbo.
Yeah. If he's not doing anything, I'm just gonna.
He's
lean
doing
back
something.
Oh.
He's
Um,
muttering. He's muttering to himself.
Yeah. No, I'm just gonna watch that.
Let it get to me. I'm just gonna creep. I know that it's here. I can sense it in my feet.
Oh, which yeah, he seems to be like doing something. He's already told me about his power. So I'm going to start following him around.
The Great Emerald's power allows me to feel.
I'm just gonna keep to the shadows, slink around, and wait for this fine young lad to find something, because
Yeah.
he usually does.
Knuckles has headphones in, by the way.
Listening to his own reps.
And he's like mouthing along the words. He looks up and he sees a security drone go by, and the security drone shoots a laser down. And as it shoots the laser down, Knuckles says at the last possible second, because you should keep in mind, Knuckles can keep up with Sonic when they're running, and keep up with Tails, and those two are like superhumanly fast. So Knuckles is no slow coach himself. He dodges at the last second and says, "Don't let it hit you, move. Don't let it hit you, move." And he's like dancing to himself as he like surprisingly managed to dodge past all of the lasers, kind of dancing and rocking out with a pair of headphones that have an icon of an alligator on them and are like very huge. But he stops when he gets to the other end of the corridor, and he takes off his headphones and blinks into this skylight, because there's like a big light coming down, and he doesn't
Your
do well.
weakness. Yeah.
He doesn't do well in bright spaces, so he covers his eyes and rubs them a little bit, and then when he opens them, he sees Rouge behind him. And then he blinks again, rubs them, opens them. So
Welcome
you
to
are
the
here.
museum. Yeah. Did you need a pamphlet? Help around?
Funny. What are you doing here? Looking for more pieces of my emerald?
I work here,
Wait, really?
sort of.
What does sort of mean?
Don't need to explain myself to you, but I do have pamphlets.
Well, you could have just picked them up on your way in. It's a museum. That doesn't mean you work here.
Omochao suddenly bursts into the room holding as many. Well, he doesn't really have arms, does he? So he's like.
Like, he can have them attached to his feet. Like, you know those things that fly, like, I don't know, basketball games, like the blimps that just, like, have things attached to them and they just fall on the crowd? They're just clipped to his feet like that.
He's got one of those with just a whole bunch of pamphlets, and he goes, "Oh, I got the pamphlets you asked for, Mr. Knuckles! Oh, Miss Rouge, you're here too! I'm so happy to see you, and I'm sure Mr. Knuckles is too."
Thank you, Omochao.
Hi,
By the way,
Omochao.
did
You're
you hear
welcome.
me? Just now, did you hear me?
Yeah, it was great.
Those lyrics were a rough draft, Omochao.
They've been a rough draft for a while, Mr. Knuckles. But I still really like them.
And the vein on Knuckles' head pops out. And he's about to shake his fist and yell, but then he remembers it's Omochao, so he just like slumps down in defeat. And then he says, "I was just checking for booby traps."
And
Why would there be booby traps in a museum?
Because this museum belongs to Eggman, one of the most dastardly villains the world has ever seen.
It's true. Have you seen the prices in the gift shop?
Oh, right. It's still like a public access museum. If you haven't noticed, there are people walking around, though.
Yeah, that's the thing about Eggman. He lures you in with a false sense of security. He pretends to be your friend, and then just when you least expect it, wham! Your emerald's gone. A little claw comes down and grabs the emerald, and then you run after it. But then these little shocky things come out, and they shock you, and then you fall backwards, and then someone else helps you out.
Right, so this has happened to you before? I thought
Only-
this was a one-time thing.
Only twice.
Oh, gosh.
Well, he's only run away with my emerald twice. He's tricked me into thinking someone else was going to steal it 3 times. Oh, you can't tell. I'm saying 3 times.
Right. Yeah, my point was just that,
But you know what they say. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on you. Fool me 3 times, not again, Dr. Eggman.
my point was if you're trying to steal from a museum, you probably shouldn't do it in broad daylight.
I'm not stealing from a museum. Stealing is wrong.
Right.
I'm just looking for where my Master Emerald shards fell. I wasn't planning on taking any of this.
So what are you planning to do when you find your Master Emerald shards that are presumably in the museum?
I will take them, and then I will leave a receipt. Omochao can print.
I sure can.
Okay, Omochao, what do you think that the people who are in the museum are going to consider that?
Omochao, don't answer that.
Purchase? I mean, I'm leaving a receipt.
No.
This museum is fully
no,
staffed by
no.
robots.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's nothing unlike what Mr. Knuckles has done before to get back the pieces of the Master Emerald.
Oh,
This
oh
is
my
pretty.
cow.
stolen before.
standard. This is pretty standard.
Oh no! Who's the
Do
hypocrite?
you remember the bank heists? The
No.
daycare?
No?
And Knuckles...
We deleted those records.
and
Don't
Knuckles,
worry, Miss Rouge. You don't have to worry about Mr. Knuckles at all.
And as
Yeah.
Omochao says that, and Knuckles is backing up, as we hear, you don't have to worry about Mr. Knuckles at all. Knuckles, who's been like kind of emphatically shaking his hands, accidentally hits one of them on this hourglass with like a switch on the top. And the hourglass flips over,
Oh no.
and all the lights go out. So like there were skylights above, they
Oh.
close in. And suddenly you just hear a
And in the darkness, you can see 3 sets of eyes. You can see Rouge's like heavy-lidded, like eyelashed eyes. You can see Omochao's glowing little diodes, and you can see Knuckles' eyes, which are very wide and cartoony.
and then right behind him, what looks like it's the shape of a toilet seat. What looks like a toilet seat, but it's rainbow tie-dye, opens up behind him and illuminates him.
Oh.
And then you see that this is a rainbow tongue of a giant ghost that looks like it has like, you know, like when you take a trash can and you just like you press it and it like flaps up and down, and it almost looks like a mouth, like brr, 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 brr. That's what this thing's mouth looks like.
Grotesque.
And it just looks at you and you hear a and at this point, just assume it's chasing you. I will occasionally make sound effects.
Okay.
This is the exhibit. This is King Boom Boo, who this exhibit is named after.
So Knuckles and Rouge are just running now, right?
I mean, presumably, it's your choice.
Yeah. So, I guess Rouge grabbed Omochao.
Omochao can fly, right?
Can fly. Omochao's okay.
Omochao's okay. Omochao's keeping up with you guys.
Omochao's fine. Out of character, you all will be fine during this combat. You just have an angry toilet lid ghost chasing
It's
you,
just for atmosphere.
making this weird sounds, and then occasionally like opening its mouth like this, and
Right.
sounding like the sound effect when a cartoon does their rotating arms. I don't know how else to describe it.
Yeah,
It sounds
the-
like a propeller. It's like occasionally there might be blue fire.
You can hear Rad Red muttering, and he says, "Not again, not again, not again, not again," and he's running.
You know, I speak from past experience. Sometimes when you let problems get big, they get, like, really big, even bigger. Is this a problem we should take care of, Mr. Knuckles, Miss Rouge?
Oh, Machao,
Yeah.
this King Boom Boo, if that is his real name, has been around for centuries. This problem might be too big for us to handle.
No
we
problem's too big for you to handle.
Yeah, we have to deal with this. If we don't deal with this, we're probably going to die.
What if it's part of the museum?
It's clearly part of the what? You mean this ghost? This
Yeah.
ghost that's haunting the museum?
Yeah, maybe
You think
it's part
that
of the
this just
exhibit.
happens to people?
It doesn't happen to you? And then he turns to her, and with, as close to cool as Knuckles can manage, he says, "First time with the ghost?"
She looks flustered for a moment and shoves him out of the way, and then starts looking around to try to glean the story of this what's going on. No,
listen,
listen,
Batgirl. Listen, Batgirl. We'll have a better chance if we split up and take it in opposite directions. It can't follow us both.
All right. So how about
I'll climb down. You fly up that way, and then he's
Great.
already gone.
split? Yeah.
Omochao follows Rouge.
All right, and as you go, there's a bit of blue fire that shoots out right where each of you were. So Knuckles barely escapes jumping down, and Rouge does pretty all right escaping, flying away.
Knuckles is climbing down the wall with a sound effect, and as per usual, she's muttering to himself, "The last ghost I met was a lot more attractive. She couldn't shoot fire. And she was very pretty, too. Although, probably one of my ancestors. Oh, shouldn't think about that too much.
Don't focus on that.
Don't focus on how pretty she is. Don't focus on how pretty she is." And he's climbing down, and he looks up at Rouge, and then he says, "Don't focus on how pretty..." And then King Boom Boo is, just hanging out, slowly behind him. Kyle, you want to give us a King Boom Boo sound effect? Knuckles goes, "Ah!" and lets go and falls farther down. And then we can cut to Rouge.
Okay. And King Boom Boo, I want to explain, this is a circular platform. He will occasionally stop to look at you, but he's mostly just running around the platform as like a jogger running around
The rounds.
running around a jogging ring. I don't know what it's called. A track.
A track?
A
Yeah,
track.
there you go.
Like a
Track is right.
jogger, like a jogger with a very bright tongue running around a track.
Oh, yeah. We've all experienced a jogger with a very bright tongue running
sure.
around a track.
So Rouge, yeah, you and Omochao, you see this thing just running past you, occasionally yelling at Knuckles.
Okay, cool. So Rouge then is she's pulling out various very spiritual bric-a-brac out of her utility pouch, right? That's as a seasoned treasure hunter, she occasionally does have to deal with ghosts. They did Pumpkin Island or a Pumpkin Hill. It happened, right? Pumpkin Hill is a thing. It's plagued with ghosts, and unlike Knuckles, who ran away, she dealt with it, right? Ghosts are a thing, but this is a very large one. So she's going around sticking ghost begons around the top, but it doesn't really feel like that's gonna be enough to deal with this problem. So she concernedly looks over at Omochao and then at Knuckles, who is being actively chased. She's like, "Hey, Red, so usually when I deal with a ghost problem in general, I try to talk to the ghost. I try to figure out if it'll just leave on its own or if I can help it with a small problem. And then if it doesn't like that, I actively shove small spiritual ghost begons at it or the area that I am trying to push the ghost out of. Does that sound like your methodology?"
I punch it.
He's really good at punching ghosts.
You can punch a ghost?
Yes, I am the guardian of the Master Emerald. I have access to untold spirit energies.
Okay.
Sometimes I use my maximum heat attack.
Huh.
That's my favorite one.
Cool. Well, then I have an idea. Because I don't think I have enough spiritual bric-a-brac to actually deal with an area this large.
This is a very large ghost, Batgirl.
Right. So how about if we, since it's chasing you, can we chase it into a corner and then she wraps, like, beads around her legs? And then you'll punch it and I'll kick it.
I can make a corner. And then he starts punching the wall, and the entire museum like shakes a little bit. But you can see him actually like carving out a tunnel. And he turns in Rouge's direction, and he says, "This alliance has a purpose. This partnership is only temporary." And then he keeps digging.
I want to note during that vibration, we just flash above and we see Amy just in there like, what button do I pick? Like, kind of looking over each one with their finger.
Which one can I hit the hardest?
Yeah, and then you just shakes and her finger just moves forward and presses one of the buttons. And then we go back down to underground.
Rouge is meanwhile covering Omochao in all of the rest of her spiritual bric-a-brac. So Omochao is like completely covered. And she's like, okay, you, meanwhile, if you wouldn't mind just flying in this variety of pattern to keep the King Boom Boo in the area where Knuckles and I are going to fight it, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
I can do that.
We can do this.
Knuckles, you hear his voice sounding from very far away because now he's like at the end of a long tunnel with King Boom Boo behind him. And he yells, "I need you distracted for a second, Rouge."
All right. Hey, you big lug, follow me.
And it starts, King Boom Boo he does the thing he does in the game, which is so infuriating, which if you get close enough to his back, he just turns like 180, like he pressed the button in a video game that just makes you instantly, like, this is just what it looks like. And he just races towards you.
No, thank you.
I'm so sorry.
And while that's going on, the camera turns back towards Knuckles and zooms in, and all we see is Knuckles' back, and it looks like his fists are moving very, very, very fast. And we can cut back to Rouge and Omochao for a sec now.
Okay.
Yeah, so Rouge is flying and she she's figuring that they're going to the tunnel. So she does a spin up and around and waits for him to get kind of close and then tries to get him to follow her in a loop-de-loo and go back towards the tunnel.
Okay, and because we're in a non-rolling scenario, it works perfectly. Also because Rouge is good at what she does.
Rouge generally succeeds.
All right, so yeah, let's wrap this up. Describe how you get him into a corner, and it's got to be at the same time, the punch and the kick. But like,
yeah. So Rouge, how do you get him to turn around and go into the tunnel?
So yeah, I described it. That's he went boop 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 boop, and she went boop 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 boop.
You Pac-Man'd him into there,
and then he just did the flip again. Except it's not the direction I just did. It's the opposite.
And when he flips
and he rims that way.
When he flips around, there's a Knuckles shape right where he's standing, and as he's about to chomp, a panel or like a part of the wall caves away, and a bunch of rocks like push out, and you just see a giant fist, and you hear someone say, "Knock, knock! It's Knuckles!" And there's a final, there's a final finisher and a slow motion. As
Rouge does like a kick.
And they both punch King Boom Boo.
Well, she does a kick. She doesn't do a punch.
Oh, I meant my hands.
Oh, both of them?
Yes.
Yeah, Knuckles is not thinking about Rouge right now.
Bam! Like that.
Like that?
Like that.
How? Where? He's so big.
Yeah.
Knuckles has
correct.
Spirit powers. He can do it.
Cool.
And then Knuckles like cleans himself off, shakes the dirt out of his dreadlocks, And then he leans over to Rouge. How are you doing? Where are you right now?
So if you were going that way, she like,
Bam.
yeah. The way that you had dug, like, had gone into a pocket, so she had gone above and was
Mhm.
kicking down.
Mhm.
So did King Boom Boom, like,
He just
poof?
dissipated. Yeah.
Yeah,
He just poofed, and there's a little beautiful rainbow. His tongue
Great.
just like
Aw.
merges into a rainbow,
Mhm.
as a sign of faith that God would never put King Boom Boo against Knuckles and Rouge again. I don't know why I need to do that theming. Anyways, it turns into a nice little rainbow. and
Great
then
rainbow.
Goes
So
back down.
Rouge is like slowly falling, like down
Yeah.
to land. She looks very cool.
All right.
Not bad, Batgirl.
Not bad yourself. Confidence looks good on you.
Knuckles starts blushing immediately as you say that. And then he turns around and he says, well, I guess I'll see you when I see you. And then he digs quickly into the ground and disappears.
Omochao will move to follow him, but then stops right before the little tunnel that Knuckles just dug and go, oh, that was so cool. You should work together more often. And then he zooms away after Knuckles.
And
And
if
you hear Mr. Knuckles reverberating off the tunnel.
If I can add one last thing, as Omochao flies away, Rouge, you notice a piece of paper flutter out from behind him, go to the ground, and you just see a receipt.
Oh no!
So what were your goals, Knuckles and Rouge, and did you feel like you succeeded at them?
My goal was to get my rival to assist me in fighting King Boom Boo.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, mine was that as well.
It really helps when you two have the same goal.
Yeah, that went so smoothly.
Yeah.
That went so smoothly.
I was just like, I just gotta be like, you should fight the thing, and then they'll both fight the thing.
All right, so
I got a point for the first time.
Yeah, each of you are.
Yay!
So each of you get 2 dice, and Omochao, for succeeding, you get 4 dice because you help both of them succeed in their goal.
I have 4 dice.
Someone who has no dice, however, is Sonic. Shall we move back to our main trio
No dice.
or quartet? I guess because we've got. I don't know if the tornado. We'll find out if the tornado's still in.
Papa Tornado
Guardi-
counts.
Still in Papa mode. All right.
Papa Tornado.
So, with a shift back, Sonic.
Whoa.
Sonic, you find yourself awake in the most redundant area possible.
Green Hill Zone.
Except this Green Hell Zone is different. It's a darker, edgier version.
That's what they say in every game.
You can see machines all around it have turned the beautiful green area into desert.
Well, at least it looks different.
Plays the same though. And you look around and you see all your bird friends, and usually they're just your flickies, your pig fat. You see your pig pal from last episode, and he looks at you, and you hear that again, Sonic.
Whoa, Porker, you can talk?
And Porker looks at you and doesn't really give you much attention. Its eyes kind of glaze over as it looks past you, as if it's not looking at you at all. And it runs past. Not as if it's afraid of something, but as if it wants to see something.
It looked at me like I look at Tails when Tails is trying to explain something to me. But I'm the fastest thing alive, so I'll catch up with it.
All right. You catch up and you find yourself moving slower and slower to the degree that you're moving at the speed you were when you were emulating Shadow. And you look down at your feet as if something's grabbing you, but your shadow is not doing it. Your shadow is moving faster than you ever could. And eventually its running starts to move into this rhythmic, like delicate, as if it's skating. And your shadow breaks off at you and it goes up against the wall. It's like, Sonic! You show your face here again.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was waiting for you to finish.
I have nothing left to add, but I will continue monologuing, and the shadow appears on the other wall. You show your face here again in Green Hill after you've proven that you are no longer. And more shadows appear and say, the coolest thing alive.
That's not my phrase at all.
It's not your phrase. If it's not your phrase, then... And, out of the shadows, a Sonic appears. Another Sonic. But this one is just...
he's handsome!
Every version of dork that you can think of when you see this Sonic. I'm trying to think. He looks like Sonic.
So like the original Sonic movie design.
Oh, that's a good one. That is a very... I was going to go with Sonic Underground, but I like that more.
Well, the Sonic Underground is just a palette swap of the other two, so...
Yeah, so the Sonic movie, and it smiles at you with this horrible...
too much teeth!
And says, and the voice continues, then it wouldn't matter if you saw your real reflection.
That's not what I look like!
And as you say that, it mimics you.
No! My franchise! My residuals! What if it all ends? What if people stop buying my games? What if Shadow gets his own game and it's more popular than mine?
Oh, please, I don't care about games.
Good!
We all know that games are a stepping point to major motion pictures, the truest form of entertainment, which in turn are stepping stones to nothing, because nothing will beat classic cinema.
Joke's on you, Shadow. Someday, I'm gonna have my own movie, and it'll be the only movie that comes out that year. I'm gonna leave all other movies in the dust.
I need to get a drink of water for a second.
How dare you do that right when I had taken a drink?
That's right, Sonic, because you know deep down, and suddenly Shadow is right next to you. That's the only way people will think you're cool.
Shadow, let me tell you something. I know I'm not cool. I'm way past cool. And then I shoot off into the distance.
You shoot off, and as you shoot off, you hear this voice behind you, Chaos Kun! And it cuts off. And actually, no, that's how we're gonna end. You're racing, and what's going on through Sonic's head? You're hearing this idea, this voice, just saying things like, "Oh, is being cool? If cool is really not that important, you're just the fastest thing alive. You're not the coolest thing alive. Mechanically, I have more cool points than you. Mario has a much longer lasting legacy than Sonic." And then you just hear a number over and over: 06, 06. 06, and you hear explosions, booms alongside the 06s as you're
Sonic
racing
booms?
away. And what's going on through Sonic's head as he's racing? Does he try to combat these thoughts that appear to be coming both in Shadow's voice and his own?
No. As long as the voice inside me says so, I will always keep on running. There is no way to stop me from going to the very top. It doesn't matter who's wrong and who's right. And I just keep running forward, not looking back at any of those things.
And as you're running forward, this yellow, actually, yeah, I think it's a yellow light. This colored light, this primary colored light, like one of the Chaos Emeralds, shines behind you, and it expands like the time Shadow used that teleportation thing, and it starts racing towards you, and it moves, and it starts chasing after you, consuming the landscape around you, making Green Hill Zone edgier than it's ever been before. And you just hear a phrase accompany this as you are consumed. You hear a dark voice echo around and go, Chaos Kun! And it cuts off. And you wake up inside the space shuttle.
Are we doing dreams for the others too, or?
No, because nobody has quite as deeply a concerning, like, personal crises.
No one's having a personal break right now.
Yeah, like,
good,
Tails is tired and Amy is also tired, but they're...
Good, because the instant I wake up and I hear that... Sorry to interrupt.
No, let's go ahead.
the instant I wake up, my eyes shoot open and like they're a little bloodshot, which is terrifying given how large Sonic's eyes are. His like weird little mono eye. And I grab Tails and I say,
Oh.
little bro,
Yeah.
I need a list of words that start with CON.
Okay.
Also,
Yeah.
have you ever heard of a gathering called Chaos Con?
Huh. Well, there's like this marble team that's really popular right now, and I think that some of their
Oh, I love
fans-
marbles.
Yeah, and
Like in Marble Zone.
yeah, and one of the teams.
Oh, sorry,
that's
Marble
really-
Garden. Yeah.
Mhm. One of the teams that's really popular is like chaos themed, so they might have a meetup.
Wait, Chaos? Like giant water demon Chaos?
No, it's just the marbles names.
Oh,
They're
like... Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Not like Chaos Emeralds.
I don't know what you want from me here. That's just you asked it and I answered.
Two things. I need a list of words again
That's
that start with CON. You know that big book where you can find a list of words?
the dictionary.
A telephone. Yes, a dictionary. I need you to go in there and I need you to read out words to me.
I'm
And then the second thing I need you to do
right.
is make an appointment for therapy once we get back from space.
Wow. Well, I'm happy to do the second. Very happy. Thrilled. The
No,
first
Tails, this
yeah.
is important.
Right. The first thing doesn't sound important though. So here's what I'm going to do. This is a tablet and in it, look, here are books and this
Tails,
one is
that's not a tablet. Tablets are things that go in ruins, like Sandopolis Zone. That's a computer.
This is a list of virtual books, and this free one right at the top is a dictionary. It comes with most things that look like this for free. Click. This is this is a list of words, and I'm just gonna go to the C's for you right here, and this and go kind of far. See the COs, and then here, you can just look at these yourselves, because I'm doing something.
Okay, thanks, little buddy.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Okay, so CON. Con. And we see Sonic, like, absorbed in his task.
Perfect. By the way, where is the fake Chaos Emerald right now?
The fake one, we haven't used it yet.
Yeah. Do you just have it on your person, Tails?
Yeah, I think I have it in that pocket that all cartoon characters have.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. And then Tails, you go back to your task, which is splayed out. I'm assuming Amy's driving because you have all this stuff just splayed out
Amy's driving.
in front of you.
Yeah, I have a lot of mostly I guess what you would properly categorize as coffee table books. Splayed out like put over because I want them to stay clean from and not gross from the shuttle's floor on what I purchased them in, which are gift shop bags. So, yeah, which I was charged extra for. So I spent a lot of money in the museum shop, and I am reading a lot of books. Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to talk about those books right now, or do we want to save that?
Up to y'all right now. If Tails is currently really absorbed in a project and has put a lot of money into Eggman's museum.
Still like a lot of money.
Perfect.
Like a lot of money.
Well-
But he also bought like a miniature of the pyramid, and like various other Babylonian themed bric-a-bracs.
Yeah, you bought a bunch of stuff. Without going into detail, let's say that Tails left a receipt as well, more likely than not. And how about this? So we've talked about this off camera, what you're looking at. Let's say If it comes up anytime today, or better yet, if it comes up at any point that can help you during the finale next time,
Okay.
hold on to it, and you can use this knowledge in your plan to help you. We can find a way to make that work. So,
Okay.
Tails is researching something. He's next to him. We can see Sonic just scrolls past the
Con amore, con anima, con artist, con brio, con dolore, con espressione, con foco, con game, con job, con maestra, con man, con moto, con rock, and he keeps going.
And somehow, even though it's out of alphabetical order, as Tails looks at his stuff, Sonic just runs past the word for Chekhov's gun, and we continue. Amy, what are you up to?
It's driving.
Okay, you're just driving the ship, and
Yeah, which is a thing that she knows how to do.
yeah, absolutely. You don't have to roll at all.
No.
But just for fun, why don't you roll a for a difficulty roll for piloting?
For a difficulty roll for piloting. Okay.
It's not
Nothing
relevant
in
right
that?
now, but it might come back later.
Agility? Okay.
While Haley's rolling piloting, Tails, what is the tornado up to? Is it still in Guardian form?
I imagine it is. I wanted to see. Oh. I mean, it. I haven't given it AI. There's not. It's just a mech. Yeah. That's. There's no better mode for it to be in this shuttle.
Okay.
I don't think. So that's what it's in.
In that case, it's just hanging out in the adorable pose that robots are sometimes in, where its legs are just completely out in front of it, and its arms are down to the
Aw.
side,
So
sitting with its back
like
to
a
the
little
back.
doll.
Yeah, I there's a greater than 0% chance Sonic without thinking just snuggled up right onto its lap as he started reading through things.
Laptop.
Yes, onto its laptop. Sonic feels very pleased with himself. If he had taken strain damage this episode, I would say it's healed. But it didn't, so that
You didn't take strain damage from the dream?
That's past what strain damage can handle.
That's fair. It's reasonable.
Yes, you're making your way through space. Amy, what was that roll like?
Amy, for driving the ship, got 1 advantage, 4 failures.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
That's great.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to give this up for some freeform if anyone has anything they want to discuss or do while hanging on the ship, and then when we're wrapped up with that, I will have Hallie's role come into play.
Cool.
Tails, do you want your laptop back?
It's not a laptop, that's a tablet.
Tails, it's on my lap.
Okay, that's I'm not sure that you quite understand how
I said every word in this dictionary that starts with con, and one of them made the Chaos Emerald glow. So I think we're done. Yeah,
okay.
I was speed reading.
Which one?
Well, I'd say it, but I think it's more dramatic if I say it later.
Okay.
Just trust me on this, little buddy.
Yeah, I'm gonna but you know which one, and you
Yep.
don't have to say all of them again.
Yep, I wrote it down on the back of my glove.
Great. And it's not gonna rub off.
Do you have permanent marker, Tails?
Hold on. I will go ask Amy. Gonna go. Yep. Hey, Ames.
Hey, Tails, what's up?
Do you have a permanent marker?
Probably. She reaches into her hammer of holding. I'm gonna genuinely spend rings to get a permanent marker out of my hammer
Perfect.
of holding.
My favorite part about all this is a small space shuttle, so I imagine you're all within earshot of each other.
Amy
So
can hear. She
Sonic's-
just has not responded. She's just letting this happen. And then I will hand you a pink Sharpie.
Oh, thank you. Also, how is this going?
The ship?
Yep.
You know, it's flying.
Okay.
And it's moving.
Uh-huh.
Which I hear spaceships are supposed to do.
Great. Good job.
So, thanks. You know what? I think I can do it.
I think you can too.
Thank you, Tails. I think this part is gonna go fine.
Don't worry, Amy. There's no way you're a worse driver than Knuckles. And Sonic makes himself laugh.
Amy will also laugh at that.
What a knucklehead.
Tails knows this is mean, but Amy's laughing, and Amy seemed to be having a bad time before. So this is fine. So it gets a pass. So he takes the marker over, and then is like doing mental math about how he leans in and whispers to Sonic, "I think you should go apologize to Amy
For what?
for being, frankly, for being yourself."
Tails, what's the first thing I taught you? I taught you back when you were called Miles.
I don't
Never,
remember.
and he's jabbing his finger into Tails' little chest. Never apologize for being yourself.
Oh,
That's what makes you special. And then he gets in a Sonic Says pose.
and that is a good lesson, except when you're a jerk.
Sonic's like on the verge of having this go wrong, but he just grabs the marker from Tails, writes it down, and says, "What did I do?"
Yeah, so either you're an amazing method actor, or...
I know, Tails. I could be in movies.
Right, okay. So if that's
There's no
the
way
case...
I can lose.
Right, oh, great. So yeah, you're an amazing method actor, and method acting is terrible.
I don't know what that is.
Right. Yeah. This thing, maybe this was my fault, and I apologize.
Tails, here's what I did.
Yeah.
So acting's complicated.
Right.
So what I did was,
Yeah, I see this now.
I thought
Yeah.
about what Shadow would do.
Yeah, you pretended.
And I exactly.
Yeah, you pretended.
I
to
pretended
be,
to be Shadow.
Yeah, you pretended.
And
to
then
be
I
Shadow.
said the words that I thought Sonic,
Right.
as Shadow, would say.
Okay. Yeah. Go apologize to Amy.
So what you're saying is, because
Right.
Shadow's a jerk, I hurt Amy's feelings.
I don't know that that's
This is a way I can process this. And he zips off. So he gets into the seat next to Amy, and he kicks his feet up in his classic, like, Sonic being cool, relaxing
The
pose.
thing that makes
And
me
he's-
real sad knowing this is that there are only 2 seats here, and the other one was Tails, and he had stuff all over there.
Oh, that's right.
Okay, I just want to make this abundantly clear to everybody what just
So
happened.
a couple of the books are punctured now because I was
Yeah,
lying
Tails
on them.
looks
They cost so
really
much
upset. Yeah.
And
Those
reminder,
are like $40 each.
Sonic is wearing his soap TM shoes, which are extra pokey.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So I put my soap TM shoes up on the dashboard, and I have my arms back, and I'm relaxing, and I'm just looking at the stars for a while. And then sort of casually, I turn to my left and summon every ounce of my charm, and I say, "Hey, Ames, I wanted to talk a little bit about what happened back there. You got a minute?" And then I flash her a million ring smile.
Amy looks over to her right where Sonic is and goes, "Don't got anything better to do."
Right. So listen, I think things got a little out of hand down there in the museum, and I think I know why. You
Do
see,
you?
yeah, there's someone called Method Man, and sometimes when you try to be Method Man, you end up saying stuff you don't mean. Anyway, sometimes you hurt a friend's feelings when you're pretending to be the biggest jerk on the planet. And that's no good. And then I turn to her to see how this is.
How is this landing,
Take
Ames?
Not well.
Not great.
Not great. She's got a fake smile plastered on her face and she goes, "Pretending."
Tails is in the background, like, oh!
The robot is set up to mimic, so the tornado
Yeah!
goes in the
Sonic looks over at Tails and the robot, and they're like gesticulating wildly from his point of view. And the little light bulb goes off in his head, and he's like, "Oh no, is there danger?" But he chooses to ignore it because he thinks they're indicating there's some sort of danger on the horizon. Then he turns back
Outside
to
of the shuttle, we see the space shuttle just drift closer to a meteor field. Continue.
a meteor herd.
A meteor herd, yeah.
And Sonic's thinking, yeah, like I'm nailing this. It's going really well. Because how could I not be? And he turns to Amy and he says, "Yeah, Amy, pretending. You get it. Pretending like acting. I was acting like a jerk."
Amy's smile is so strained now that it's like one of those like cartoon squiggly lines. Like she's just so angry, and she's gonna go ahead.
Tails or Sonic turns to his left, like his left shoulder, and he kind of drums his fingers on the console and says, "So shoulder Tails, listen, you told me to tell her I was acting like a jerk, and that's verbatim what I said."
Right here. Who's shoulder tails?
Okay, we'll talk about that in therapy. And I speed back towards you and your dad, the tornado. And
New
I think,
sitcom, My Dad, the Tornado.
nice
I would
puppet,
watch it.
nice puppet rig, by the way. So
Thanks.
I told her I was acting like a jerk.
Yeah.
But her face did this thing.
What?
Yeah, there it is.
Talk to Amy. She's right there.
I
did.
can hear you,
Yeah, we can hear.
Sonic. I can hear everything that you tell Tails. You know that, right? For someone who thinks the whole world revolves around him, you don't seem to have a very aware perception of where you are and who you're with.
Amy, that's ridiculous. I know the whole world doesn't revolve around me. I've been to space. The whole world revolves around the moon.
Good job, Sonic. You know what's happening to the moon right now? It's broken in half.
It's on sale. 50% off. And he gives a thumbs up.
You're gonna kill Sonic before Eggman gets the
He might not
chance.
make it. He might not make it. Amy does like
A very different game.
like a finger wag and goes, "No, it would be fun if the moon was on sale. I'd consider buying it if the moon was on sale because I love catalogs. The moon is not on sale and none of this is fun. You know that, right? None of this is fun?
It's a little fun.
It could be fun."
So we're agreed then. I'm sorry. You're sorry. Tails is sorry.
Tails has nothing to be sorry for. What would Tails be sorry for, Sonic? What would Tails be sorry for?
Pretending to be Shadow and hurting your feelings?
You're grasping. You're not very good when you grasp.
I'm sorry
For
what I did?
that's yeah.
And it was bad.
Uh-huh. Can you tell me why?
Because the whole world doesn't revolve around me.
That's true. Good.
Although sometimes it does. Literally, sometimes it does, and you have to get blue spheres and then turn them into red spheres, and then the whole world revolves around you. And sometimes you're in this little pinball thing, and the whole world literally revolves around you, and you have to get all the rings, and then you can get a Chaos Emerald.
And sometimes you get arrested and your friends come to break you out of prison and then help you save the world. And sometimes those friends don't get a thank you.
Oh, that's why you were on Prison Island.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Then
I
why
was
did-
on Prison Island.
Why didn't you come get me?
Well, I tried, Sonic. You weren't there. You know where you were? In the water.
Oh yeah, I was saving animals.
That's great. That's great. And you know
I
what,
saved
honestly,
a pig and a seal and a flicky.
I am genuinely very happy to hear that was what you were doing, and
That's why I fell in the water.
reason. That's
Hey Ames, I got a question for you.
uh-huh.
It's something I've thought about for a long time. And he leans in close. why do you think they call it Prison Island? It's not like Angel Island has angels on it.
Amy doesn't respond for like 5 flat seconds. And then, you know what?
Which is an eternity. You are torturing. You are torturing Sonic right now.
She's intentionally waiting that long to make this worse for Sonic.
Sonic, it almost feels like your heart is like thumping every second. Like everything is
so slow,
vibrating. Like it's like a, and you can hear feel your whole body, like vibrating.
Oh no. Am I in trouble? That's what I'm thinking to myself. I don't say it out loud.
Okay. After this eternity of making Sonic just meet her gaze, she goes, I don't know, Sonic. We don't know because we couldn't ask anyone. Because the island exploded. Do you know why the island exploded? It's because you left.
That doesn't make any sense.
I agree, but that's what Tails said.
Why would the island explode if I left? No, Amy, there would have to be bombs on the island.
Yeah,
there were bombs on the island.
There were bombs on the island.
There
They
were
rigged it to
so many
explode.
bombs. Did you not? I talked to a duck for like 10 minutes. Probably not that long because we were on a timer, but you know what?
Bean.
It felt like forever. Yeah, Bean. That's what he said his name was. I
Do you
talked
remember
to Bean.
Bean? We fought him in that fighting tournament for that other time we took a rocket to go to the moon.
Sonic, focus.
You
Okay,
remember
it's just-
Bean? We saved him from an exploding island.
They put the bombs on the island to try to keep you there. Does that make sense?
Why?
And you know why you don't know? Because you didn't just wait for us to come get you and tell
I
you.
waited 5 Sonic
long?
minutes.
Are
5
you
Sonic minutes.
sure?
And
5
that,
Sonic
Sonic
minutes.
minutes
And that
aren't
is-
what everybody else measures time by.
And that's when the wing of the space shuttle hits a meteorite and explodes.
Oh no! That's fair.
Because you've been hitting it. So what are you gonna do?
I imagine because Amy got slowly farther away from the controls and it just veered and she didn't care at that point. Well, because Amy has priorities and can recognize when things are important, she's gonna give up the fight with Sonic for the time being and run back and go try to right the shuttle as best she can.
Perfect. Give me
Maybe
another.
we should have let Knuckles drive.
Oh no!
To die?
I am now no longer trying to fix the shuttle. I throw my hammer backwards. I do a ranged hammer throw as if it's a javelin because I'm trying to hit Sonic. I'm trying to hurt him a little bit, like when I was stripping him, but it's so much worse because she's just so mad.
Okay. I am going to check. Do we have a wing anymore?
No, you have one wing, but the
We have
other one
one
is
wing.
gone.
Okay, I'm going to transform. Tornado transformation. Gonna transform the tornado into its plane form. How
Okay.
big is the tornado in comparison to the other wing?
About the same size.
Great. Then I'm going to everyone. And I'm going to put the tornado start. I do a walking motion because I'm on puppet mode
Yeah.
to get the tornado to. It's in the mode where it has legs and wings, So
I
it's
hate
trying
it so much.
Yes. It's going to try to get itself to the cargo bay area to jump out.
Okay.
And
So
go save us.
somebody has to roll a 5 difficulty roll with a single boost die. Either Amy with assistance from the tornado, or the tornado with assistance from Amy. You get to choose who's going to do the 5
Wait,
difficulty
can I help?
piloting roll.
Can I help?
You're
if
being-
you want.
Yeah, maybe, but you are being hit with
Maybe.
a hammer.
Oh, I assumed I dodged
Amy
it.
is genuinely, she would have chucked it back there.
I assumed I tried to dodge it.
Okay.
What type of check is it?
Piloting.
Okay, I will take it. Please.
Okay, yeah. My piloting is nothing, so
Well, can we add boosts by helping?
Yeah. So what are you going to do to help Sonic?
So let's assume that there's a hole in the shuttle right now. Is that true?
The ring was blown up, but we can say there's a hole as well.
I thought that the wing blew up.
Yeah, the wing.
Oh, the wing blew up. So
Problems?
we're in like a tailspin right now.
Yeah,
so to speak?
basically.
Cool. What I'm going to do is, this is something that I've done before in space, so it's not a huge deal. I'm going to hang on the outside of the shuttle, like this, with my arms, and kick my feet to try to stabilize the thing.
Okay. So
I did that in Sonic 2.
So Sonic is kicking his feet to stabilize. Tails
In a
is
vacuum.
trying to pilot with the tornado, which is its very long human legs sticking out as it's like trying to stabilize. And Amy, I don't know what you're doing. Tails, roll a piloting check with 2 boost die.
Thank you.
And
Amy's pressing buttons.
and it'll be a difficulty of 5. It will be the hardest difficulty possible.
Okay.
Spend a Sonic point.
Okay. Hold on. I'm just making sure because I can automatically add a success, so I'm going to do that, but it adds a threat.
Okay.
So I'm going to do that.
While we're figuring out this, which is probably going to be the biggest role of the game because there's just so many components, I want everyone to just imagine a chorus of yelling. Actually, no, I'm going to find the specific cutscene in Sonic Adventure 2 when this exact thing happens, because it's Knuckles' fault in that one, but it's the exact same idea. Knuckles crashes space shuttle. Let's see if this appears.
Yeah, I am going to flip a point.
Okay, perfect. All right, I cannot find it, but look up the Sonic Adventure 2. See a cutscene, a shuttle.
It's just us all
spiraling.
screaming.
Just everybody screaming. In that one, Knuckles is being yelled at. In this one, Sonic's being yelled at.
Mm-hmm.
And if Sonic's saying anything, we can't hear him in the vacuum of space.
No, I have my mouth closed because space.
Yeah, absolutely.
Since I added that auto success, I got completely neutral, and 1 advantage and 1 threat.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's an interesting outcome.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I'm going to go with what my original plan was, because it's not quite a success.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it does go this type of roll with my knowledge of the system goes. I believe. Oh, never mind. I won't say anything because I thought it went to. Nah, never mind. I won't say anything. Wow, it's been a while since I DM'd in this.
I can't remember either. I could pull up the rule book if
It's a
anyone
failure.
knows. It's a failure. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Because the way I was going to go was kind of a soft failure in that you.
Oh, make it as soft as you want.
It doesn't explode. Well, it's not super soft. It's gonna add a little bit to our adventure. So you try the stabilized Tails, but unfortunately, and you can adjust this how you want. But I'm gonna say nobody really wants to see Sonic out there. So I'd imagine the presence of Sonic jumping onto the side of the shuttle does not really help you keep a whole lot of attention, because now he's just out there. And like, sure, he's Sonic, he's the coolest, but also Sonic, no. You try the stabilize, but you continue in the tailspin, and it continues and continues, and you have to brace for impact as the shuttle crashes. And you look around you, and you see bright lights, but these aren't the like fake hollow lights of the space colony arc. These are the natural starlights. And you find yourself on a long meteor that's been cut in half and just has a very platform on it. There are a bunch of like containers all around you, and you can see the space colony arc a bit away, but you would have to climb up to get it. You find yourself stranded in the meteor herd.
But there's air and gravity, right? Because Meteor Herd has that.
Yeah. You're alive. You're just stranded on a bunch of disconnected meteors that are a bit of a ways away from the space colony arc.
Climbing from the wreckage, Amy will be like, she's still mad. She'll go, see, look what happened because everything's got to be about you, even when you're apologizing, so nobody can focus on anything, including driving a shuttle.
Sonic isn't really listening.
That's fair.
As per usual. He's checked to make sure Tails is okay. He's checked to make sure as much of the tornado as he can salvage is okay. And then he's checked to make sure Amy's okay. And when he sees that all three of you are okay, he looks up and down at the shuttle, disappears off in the distance, and then comes back a split second later and says, "We need to go that way.
Which way?
Down the way of the Meteor Herd. There's a series of springs that can take us closer to the Ark. I don't know how much oxygen we have.
Why are there springs in a meteor horde?
Because Robotnik built this Meteor Herd.
Why did he build a meteor herd?
Why did he build a space amusement park?
You got me there.
Tails, it's like Sky Sanctuary. We just got to climb all our way up to the space station.
Yeah, I'm just grumpy.
I know you're both mad at me. You can still be mad at me. That's fine. But we got something to do right now.
The tornado got hurt.
You can build it again, Tails. And now, you don't need the Chaos Emerald to power it, which means we can use it for something else.
Did you get it?
Yep. And he takes it out of the crash.
Did you get all of my books? I spent a lot of money.
Yep.
Fine.
A couple of them have quills on them.
Yeah. When you sat on them.
Yep.
Okay.
I'll buy you some more. We'll pick up a couple extra rings on the way. But right now, and he kneels down in front of Tails, I need you to figure out what we can do with this extra Chaos Emerald. He taps Tails' head and ruffles his little, floof thing, and then he walks up to Amy. Amy, I'm sorry for what I said about Knuckles. I should never, ever compare anyone to Knuckles. You don't deserve that.
Flashes back to the beginning of the night when she took a personality quiz in Teen Rogue, like, which of Sonic's friends are you, and got Knuckles. Flashes back to now. Goes, thank you.
That wasn't fair of me, and I'm sorry. You're way, way better than Knuckles. Knuckles is dirt. Knuckles is the ground under the dirt. Wait, no, he'd probably love that.
Amy, this is working. And she'll flip her hair a little bit and go, thank you, I've always thought so.
And seeing that this is working, Sonic breaks down in a grin and he says, he's worse than dirt. He's dumber than bricks and twice as ugly. And then he runs off in the distance, shouting epithets about how awful Knuckles is.
Tails
Amy
looks so worried. He's just like, oh no. Why are her friends so mean to Knuckles?
Amy doesn't just like Knuckles at all. She just likes dunking on it.
Which I choose to believe that of the team, Knuckles is only rude to Tails.
He's only rude to Tails. Is the thing. He's fine with Sonic and Amy.
No, he's definitely mean to Sonic. But no one cares when you're mean to Sonic.
No, of course not.
But we notice when you're mean to Tails. Tails, a person who's never done anything wrong in his life.
That's great.
All right.
Cool.
So now that Team Sonic is back together again,
Yeah, let's go.
all we had to do was dunk on Knuckles viciously.
The only way I can think of narrating this is one of those old-fashioned you see this dramatic shot of everyone in the silhouette and just a very serious deep voice goes and Team Sonic journeyed across the meteor field, racing back and forth, planting many dunks on their good friend Knuckles the Echidna.
He mean it so genuinely. Amy does.
In this time of
He's a mean
crisis,
person.
Sonic had finally found and reconnected with the things that mattered to him. His friends, the Chaos Emerald, and again, how much Knuckles the Echidna sucked. But our adventurers did not know that their most challenging journey wait ahead of them. And we are going to now get to where you would be if you were in the game. You are now made your way to the Space Colony Arc. The only difference is you do not have the tornado. You are inside of the space colony. It's got this like neon green light that goes all around it. There's this like basically poisonous acid looking like fluid that goes through tubes. It honestly all looks rather unsafe. But then again, this was a research facility funded by Gun, an organization named Gun. So that's really all you need to know about Gun and the space station that Gun put together. So, yeah, I think before we wrap up today, what I want to figure out is now that you are on the space colony, where maybe Knuckles is, maybe Eggman is, maybe Eggman's still looking for you on Earth. You don't really know, but you're on this arc.
Well, we do know we have a deadline, which presumably we haven't passed yet, where Eggman said he would blow up more of the Earth.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which isn't cool.
I would say, let me calculate the stream time quickly. I would say it's about 2 hours, more or less. More like 30 minutes, but like 2 hours if you extended it out into a long form version where people describe their actions instead of doing them.
Hypothetically.
Yeah, hypothetically speaking, of course. So the one thing I want to do before we wrap it up today is I want to go through your plan and then maybe go through the first few steps of implementing it. So you are on the Ark. You know they have a laser. I don't know what else you know. I forgot what I told you.
I think our original plan was just to show up and beat them up. So, basically all we know is laser shoot Earth if.
Well, we know that
Eggman.
Tails hacked into the government computer and got some files. So Tails may have some files on the Space Colony Arc that could give us more direction on where we need to go.
That we could like review before doing things. Yeah,
that's true. You have the general blueprints of the Space Colony Arc. Tails, you have information on who built it, things that were done in there. You have information on the bio-lizard experiment, which in the image makes it just look like this cute little image in like this cute little lizard in a glass cage.
Yeah.
It's got little cute tubes. It's a little gross, but like a cute little lizard. And you also have heard about the Eclipse Cannon, a cannon that can be fully powered by the power of the all 7 Chaos Emeralds.
That's right. Weren't we? No.
Oh, yeah, Tails, you told me to get the other 6 emeralds, which I couldn't do because the island blew up.
Right. I remember what we were going to do last time. I was like, let's not bring this emerald here. And then you were like, no, I want to figure out how to use it. So that's why it's here. A place where it shouldn't be. Yeah. Okay.
But it's with me.
I trust you implicitly. You didn't just get my robot blowed up.
I don't know what that means. But I can look it up on this laptop.
Let's not call that. That's fine.
Sonic lifts up the tablet. It is like it's got like the screen crack on it.
Yeah, there's a giant crack on it and it's like smoking. And Sonic looks at it closely and says, I don't think we can get Wi-Fi up here.
So something that definitely happened was I sent the thing from the Space Colony Arc to the president.
Yes.
With them being like, hey, we're going to blow you all up or crash into you.
Yeah.
And then it doesn't seem like anybody's reacted.
Well, it didn't crash into the Earth.
Right, it didn't.
It's true. And, about 15 minutes into hunkering into their shelters, waiting for the crash, people just decided they were kind of done with this stuff crashing onto the Earth thing, and they decided to go out to bars and stuff anyway. So
that doesn't sound right.
What are they gonna
do? I'm not angry.
Is there a movie out?
Anyways, point being, after it didn't crash onto the Earth, they basically considered it a hoax, and they haven't taken it seriously. I'm sorry, Tails, the president does not pick up your calls anymore.
Yeah. Okay. But were they taking it serious? Not they, the people, but they, the government, in any capacity before that?
I think the Eclipse Cannon, because Eggman, unlike Tails, who claimed there was going to be a crash on the Earth and it didn't happen, Eggman showed results. He said, "I'm going to blow you up," and then he blew up a part of the moon.
And that's what gets government grants.
Yeah, absolutely. You need proof that your experiment works before you actually get funding for it.
Mm-hmm.
The point is, yeah, they have been taking it seriously. From your point of view, because you've been listening into the government computer,
mm-hmm.
They sent a few gun robots up here, but most of them got crashed into the meteor herd, and which is actually made out of chunks of the moon that that got blown up. Eggman worked real fast.
His robots did.
Yeah, most of the his robots did. Most of the gun robots got destroyed. So it sounds like they have a new plan for dealing with Eggman, which is do whatever he says.
Okay.
There is a rogue agent who's supposedly working inside, like an inside job, but
right.
she's been missing. They don't get reports from her.
So I know. So I was wondering how much I had of that. So do I have that note under gun or the CIA?
You know only of the affiliation with Gun, so you know only of the joint project being performed with Gun.
Cool. And does it have any notes at all? Basically, because the question is, does it say that somebody's looking into the ultimate life form, or does it just say we have a rogue agent working for us?
It has some of the reports.
Okay, that's a great way to do it.
This agent seems to give her reports in weird ways, so you know there are some reports, and you know they're reporting on the ultimate life form, but you don't know anything beyond that.
Sounds good.
Who is Himbo Asset?
Oh, delightful.
So while Tails is kind of sitting down, paging through this info, you see a blue blur running back and forth and back and forth. You see a blue blur running back and forth, and scrap starts piling up. Lots and lots and lots of scrap. There's freshly destroyed robots. There's older destroyed robots. And there's just pretty much a junkyard accumulating near where Tails and Amy have chosen to take a break, because it's hard work getting through the meteor herd, So we're kind of taking stock of our situation right now and sitting down for a little while. And while Tails is distracted over there playing with his I'll call it laptop, Sonic sidles up to Amy and he says, "Hey Amy, I feel bad about something."
Oh really?
Yeah. I got Tails's robot destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
Well, actually, it wasn't my fault. It was the meteor that did that. But
you're doing okay. You were doing great.
Okay. Anyway, the point is, Tails' robot's destroyed.
That's right.
But now we've got a bunch of robot parts.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think you could hammer some of these robot parts into flatter pieces so Tails can use them to repair his other robot?
Yeah, I think I can manage that.
Great. I'll scout on ahead and make sure that none of Egghead's robots bother us while you're doing that.
Okay.
Do you need anything? Need some water?
She's again suspicious about this nice request that has been 99% on the level. And she'll shrug and go, "Whatever you find's good."
You don't want what I find. There's a lot of sludge around.
Whatever you don't find's good.
Hey, watch this. Sonic runs into a pile of robot grease that he's been accumulating. He produces he grabs part of the meteor herd, the ground thing, and then using his fingers, he super fast chisels a cup shape, scoops up some of the oil, and then shakes it really, 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 really fast until pristine water is left in the cup. And then he hands it to Amy,
really
and he says,
cute.
"Tails' YouTube taught me that."
Amy is genuinely bewildered by this thing that he just did, and she'll go, I didn't know you watched Tails' YouTube.
Yeah, it's the only thing I watch. It's the only site he lets me go to.
Huh. And then she'll take a swig. She
He's a
was
cook.
thirstier than she was letting on.
Mhm.
So she drinks for a little bit longer than maybe she intended. And then finishes and goes, "Thank you, I needed that."
He has a cooking channel too.
Does he?
Yeah, he makes chili dogs.
Well, that's nice. Does he make anything else?
Not that I am aware of. And then he speeds over to where Tails is sitting with his laptop. Sorry, his tablet.
Yeah.
And he says, "Hey, little buddy, I know you're looking at the government files, but Ames and I are going to grab some of this robot debris, and she's going to use her Pico Pico hammer to smash it into pieces that you can use for tornado parts."
In the background, just a bang happens because she's already started.
So
Oh.
if you show me what I need to do, I can put these parts back on as quick as possible if you just give me the instructions.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, so this is what I was thinking of for an upgrade to the tornado. Bloop.
And we go into Sonic's like ears, and we hear womp 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 Sonic womp 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 womp. And Sonic starts sweating, and then he says, "Uh-huh."
He's trying so hard, though.
So yeah, there it's on your tablet now.
And then he looks at it, and there's like little stick figure Sonic 1, 2, 3 IKEA style instructions
Yeah.
for how to
It's
help.
IKEA, but the IKEA man is Sonic. I love
Yeah,
it
the,
so
Iki-
much.
the IKEA man is that little stick Sonic from the like Sonic Mania trailers, like doing
Yes.
things.
There are so many parts to this IKEA project, like
Yeah.
thousands of steps.
Thankfully, Robotnik's robots mostly come made of Allen wrenches, so this goes much faster than it would otherwise. So Sonic is off doing that, busying himself with that, while Amy smashes all of the robots into like flat pieces of sheet metal to make them easier to work with, and Tails is still hacking.
That's
So-
very kind. Yeah.
Perfect.
That's I wanted to do a thing.
Yeah.
So there would logically, to Tails' mind, be two types of computery thing happening
Mm-hmm.
at the base now, because Eggman came and did a thing. So there's probably like a set of Eggman programming happening here. And then there's also the thing I ran into before when I tried to contact the base, which was weird and old. And I want to try to hack in not into the government computers, but into this computer and see what's going on.
Interesting. So the not Eggman one?
Yeah.
I will
and we're on the station now, right? So he
Yeah.
should be able to find a port.
yeah, so that will be computers, whatever your top computers check is. I forget what it is off the top of my head.
It's computers.
Okay, it is. There is a check called computers. Okay, it'll be computers, and I'm going to say it is difficulty 4,
Okay.
and I'm going to use a shadow dice to up one of them.
We have plenty of Sonic points. You should go ahead and use one too.
Okay. I will use one.
Okay, perfect. Let me just switch one, and then I'll switch back. Because this is far beyond Eggman's programming. Like, Eggman's the kind of guy who would, like, he programs complex things, but he never uses, do for loops. He never uses loops. He never uses, like, references. Every line is a unique line of code.
He's a hardware guy.
Yeah, he doesn't put comments anywhere. His
What a
programming-
monster!
His programming is an absolute mess.
You have Orbot and Qbot doing QA, looking at his code and just like crying.
So his is relatively simple, but whoever did this programming seemed to be actually good at their job. So this will be difficult to get through.
Okay. I'm just checking to make sure I can't do anything with my rings. No, nothing that's applicable to this. Okay, let's roll. 3 successes, 1 threat.
Okay.
Woo!
All right, so you succeed. What did you want to get out of this?
I would like to have basically my impression, now that I've spent some time with the government's impression of this, I've noticed that a lot is redacted. That they're like, have told me that there is a project named BioLizard, but I don't know what this is, right? I don't know anything about the ultimate life form other than what this agent has helpfully told me, right? That like he's a grumpy teen. That I don't know like who made this base or why. I don't know like how it got here, how old it is, what the purpose of it is, other than clearly that they're doing experiments here. But like, I assume it's American. I don't know that that's true. I'm not American, but whatever, you know.
Yeah.
Mo-
United
movie,
Federation.
Yeah. I don't know what's going on. Like the big things that I know are that it's abandoned enough for Eggman to take over, and that it is like that it has this very scary laser in it that was harnessing chaos energy. And I would like to fill in some of the blanks so that I am not making anything worse, and I'm not going to be ambushed by something as we, not just me, so that we're all not going to be ambushed as we proceed.
Is everyone okay if I take your idea and I adapt it in a way that will require a radical rethinking of next episode and how it begins?
Oh.
No, I demand steadfast fidelity to the material.
Yeah,
This
obviously.
isn't Sonic if it doesn't happen exactly.
Okay,
the way-
so
this is Sonic roleplay.
This is how we're gonna end it. So Tails, you want to see the history of this project and the history of what happened. You take a look at these files, and as you flip back through them, because you know how when you flip, you kind of go in reverse order?
Mhm.
As you go in reverse order, you seem to go back in time. You see when Project Shadow was released, was like originally taken out by Eggman. Like Project Shadow has been taken out, the ultimate life form. You scroll back, you see this lizard thing turn from this giant lizard into this little itty bitty lizard as it grew. You scroll back and back and back. And you find yourself on an image of 3 figures. This
no.
old
your cat.
man.
Oh, see, no.
What's she doing?
this
oh
old-
no, grab her. Hold on.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Okay, she ran away.
You
Sorry,
see-
that was my cat original character. The cat did not steal. And she just jumped onto my keyboard and made some horrible noises.
I was so confused for a second because you were saying OC. I'm like, none of these are OCs that I'm describing. You see a man who looks like the old man in the video Tales that you brought out. But he seems happier. He's smiling. His arm is around two figures. To his right, there is this young blonde woman. I don't remember exactly her age.
She's like 12, right?
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
a girl.
This young girl with a blue dress, and on his left you see a slightly younger, grumpy, like 13-year-old looking hedgehog,
Aww,
just pouting.
baby.
And like you do in the old-fashioned movies, this like sepia tone picture turns into a sepia tone movie. Ooh, because we're fancy. And you see, and this hedgehog is sitting there, and Shadow is sitting there, tapping his feet on the tapping his feet as he stares at a console, and is just looking at it, looking at all these reports, looking at all these like videos that had been shared for him. They were like they're like cute animal videos. They're the equivalent of like animal YouTube videos that have been shared to him. They're in this little email drive. There was just like a heart, like, oh, all these cute animals, heart from someone named Maria, as he's sitting there just like watching these angsty, like, oh, they're not that cool. And definitely half of them are the thing where you put hedgehogs in like little boats and you set them in the water, and
so
they're just in
cute.
their little boats. And he's sitting there watching stuff, impatiently tapping his foot. He is waiting for something to happen. He's waiting for somebody to arrive. And after a few moments of waiting, and he paces back and forth. I'm going to say he doesn't have his skates now, so he's actually walking back and forth at about the speed Imitation Sonic was doing. Without his skates, I'm going to say Shadow was not actually that fast. So he's walking back and forth, thinking. And then, finally, behind him, he hears some men talking about something serious, and he grimaces. They're talking about like this bio-lizard project, the ultimate life form, the ability to create and destroy life. And behind him here, there's a shh, you hear a swish, and you, Shadow the Hedgehog, turn around to see Maria, and we're gonna figure out what you do in response next episode. So we're gonna do a flashback, but I'm not gonna play it all by myself, is essentially what I'm alluding to.
Yep.
All right. Yeah, I think that's a good ending point. So that was Sonic Adventure 2 Roleplay Session 3, the Babylon Rocket. You didn't spend a whole lot of time by the Babylon, but
No,
you
sorry.
got the rocket and you blew it up. Yeah, so let's quickly go through, discuss who we are, what we played, and where you can find all of us. So I'm going to be doing a bunch of links. I'm going to mute myself. So let's go in order. Sonic, Tails, Amy, me. So
Yeah, I'm Pranks Ball. You can find me on Twitter at RogueTailDR. I was Sonic and Knuckles this session. And you can find my podcast at nevertellmethepods.com, where I discuss the Star War with some of my friends, including Kat. And you can also find the other podcast I'm on, which Kat show runs and produces, called Autonomic, which is an Indo-Ecuadorian family-friendly show that's set in an original world created by myself and Kat. That's me, and I really hope there's a return rocket from this Arc space station, or this is going to be a tragic trip.
Oh no.
Good point. Not one I'd thought of.
Yeah. It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
I mean, I
right.
can just supersonic and go down to space. I don't know what the rest of
Fine.
you can do.
We'll be
Figure
fine.
it out.
Hey everyone. Kat. I'm Kat Cool. My last name is spelled Kuhl. Pranks covered a lot of what I do. Aside from that stuff, I'm a game designer and streamer. You can find most of my stuff linked from my Twitter, which is cat_cool_ with cool spelled like my last name again, which is Kuhl. There we go.
I'm Hallie. I was Amy Rose and Oma Chow this session. You can find me on Twitter at Hallie Kuntz, HALLIE, and then Kuntz like Dean Kuntz, the author, KOONTZ. You can also find me on 2 podcasts. One of them is called Catching Up David. I have a friend named David who lives a very sad life. He has seen no pop culture films and doesn't understand them at all. So we watch pop culture films with him that he should have seen a while ago, but is experiencing for the first time now at this age, mid-20s, millennial age. It's a good time. The other podcast that I'm on is called Quest Friends. I will let Kyle talk about Quest Friends because that is also the podcast that Kyle is on. Throwing in links.
I'm throwing in so many links right now at the speed of sound. Let me just quickly throw in Catching Up David so everyone can listen to that. They talked about B-Movie at one point. I listened to the B-Movie episode.
I know that you did.
Bond with me over B-Movie. Anyways, yes, I run Quest Friends. Quest Friends is a lot like what you saw here, but if you took all of my ums and replaced them with just more weird stuff and had very pretty flowy descriptions, because that's the only thing I write out in full. It is a podcast that stars me, Hallie, and 3 other of our best friends as we explore friendship and family in a world 1 billion years in the future. Some things are very different in the future, but some things, like the overwhelming fear of spiders, remain exactly the same. And in fact,
We're very afraid of them on Quest Friends.
they're made of glass, so they steal your mind. They're not
yeah,
great.
they're not good news.
So check that out if you want to check it out. If you want to see the episode Hallie and I were on and want to try out something, I would encourage you to try out Hop's Memory Part 1. It is a 2-part series that stars Hallie as a precocious young investigator, Simon, on his journey to become the hero, Hopper Scotch, vigilante accountant.
That's who he is.
I'll link to that episode here. But if you enjoyed Sonic Adventure 2 Roleplay, you can find former episodes on Twitch, but you can also find us on our YouTube page. I've uploaded the first 2 episodes right now, so I'm going to quickly pull those up so you can see them. We are going to be back for the finale of Sonic Adventure 2 Roleplay, The Hero Story, in 2 weeks on Monday, July 13th, at probably 7 p.m. We did 7:30 because I accidentally said 7:30. We'll be back at 7:30 p.m. So if you enjoyed this, I'd encourage you to check us out then, or again, you can always follow. You'll get notifications of everything that we stream before then, as well as our final session. So thanks so much, everyone, for joining us today, and we will see all of you in 2 weeks for the final episode of Sonic Adventure 2 Roleplay, The Hero Story. All right, goodbye, everyone.
Bye.